Before you copy the properties of parallel lines notes, first you want to get all of the angles and the lines copied exactly as I have them written here. So hit pause and take a moment to do that. Just so you know, a transversal is just a line that transverses or cuts across other lines. And I also want you to know that all of these angles below exist no matter what type of lines you have. But the theorems are only for when lines are parallel. So first we're going to check out corresponding angles. And they are angles that occupy corresponding or the same positions. Take a second and figure out who would be corresponding to angle 1. If you said angle 5, you're totally right. So we're going to write the theorem. If lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. And again, they only get to be congruent if the lines are parallel. We should write down all the examples of corresponding angles right about now. All right, on to alternate interior angles. They're exactly what you think. They're going to be on alternate sides, so they're located on alternate or opposite sides of the transversal. And I totally don't write that word out, I just write trans V. They're located on alternate sides of the transversal within the lines. So if you check out the angles that are in the lines, let's move up here for a second. The only ones that are within those lines are 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if I asked you who do you think is an alternate interior angle to angle 4, who do you think it would be? We'll find out in a moment. So the theorem will say if the lines are parallel, then alternate interior angles are congruent. So we're going to write down the alternate interior angles that we see. If you had guessed 4 and 6 and 5 and 3 to be alternate interior angles, you were right. Now, alternate exterior angles are going to be the exact same thing, except they're going to be on the outside of the lines, kind of like 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. So we're going to pretty much write down the same exact thing, except we're going to change interior to exterior. So they are located on alternate or opposite sides of the transversal on the outside or the exterior of the lines, of the given lines. And just the same as alternate interior angles, if the lines are parallel, then the angles are congruent. So if the lines are parallel, then alternate exterior angles are congruent. And we should write down the alternate exterior angles that are congruent. So angle 1 and 7, and angle 2 and angle 8. And finally we come to consecutive interior angles, and they are a little bit different. Some books will call them same side interior, and I actually prefer that name because it's completely self-descriptive. It's saying that you are on the same side of the transversal and within the lines that are given, like 3 and 6 that are highlighted there. So I'm going to write that they are located on the same side of the transversal within the given lines. Now these don't end up being congruent, so you want to be careful when you write this. If given parallel lines, then consecutive interior, or SSI, angles are supplementary. The only time they will get to be congruent is if they're both 90. So the way we're going to write it is we're going to say, we're going to find ourselves a set of consecutive interior angles, and we're going to write it as angle 3 plus angle 6 is equal to 180. And our other set would be angle 4 and angle 5, and we're going to set them equal to 180 also. And if you have all of these notes copied, it's going to make our next lesson way easier. We're just going to get down to the business of doing some algebra and doing some super fun, super easy proofs. See you in class.